Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said Saturday the time has come for the creation of an armed forces of Europe and that his country's fight against Russia has proved that a foundation for it already exists. According to Associated Press, the Ukrainian leader said Europe cannot rule out the possibility that America might say no to Europe on issues that threaten it, and noted that many leaders had long spoken about how Europe needs its own military. "I really believe that time has come," Zelenskiy told the Munich Security Conference. "The armed forces of Europe must be created." Zelenskiy also alluded to a phone conversation between US President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, after which Trump said the two leaders would likely meet soon to negotiate a peace deal over Ukraine. Trump later assured Zelenskyy that he, too, would have a seat at the table to end the war that was sparked by Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022.
Let's be honest, now we can't rule out the possibility that America might say no to Europe on issues that threaten it. Many leaders have talked about Europe that needs its own military, an army of Europe. And I really believe that time has come. The armed forces of Europe must be created. This is 3 years of full-scale war have proven that we already have the foundation for a united European military force. And now, as we fight this war and lay the groundwork for peace and security, we must build the armed forces of Europe so that Europe's future depends only on Europeans, and decisions about Europe are made in Europe. And without a European army, that is impossible. Once again, this isn't about replacing the alliance. This is about making Europe's contribution to our partnership equal to America's. And with involvement from American businesses. A few days ago, President Trump told me about his conversation with Putin. Not once did he mention that America needs Europe at the table. That says a lot. The old days are over when America supported Europe just because it always had. And this is not just madness. This is Russia's step.
Ukraine has offered to strike a deal with US President Donald Trump for continued American military aid in exchange for developing Ukraine's mineral industry, which could provide a valuable source of the rare earth elements that are essential for many kinds of technology. According to Associated Press, Trump said that he wanted such a deal earlier this month, and it was initially proposed last fall by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky as part of his plan to strengthen Kiev's hand in future negotiations with Moscow. Rare earth elements are a set of 17 elements that are essential to many kinds of consumer technology, including cell phones, hard drives, and electric and hybrid vehicles. It's unclear if Trump is seeking specific elements in Ukraine, which also has other minerals to offer. China, Trump's chief geopolitical adversary, is the world's largest producer of rare earth elements. Both the US and Europe have sought to reduce their dependence on Beijing. For Ukraine, such a deal would ensure that its biggest and most consequential ally doesn't freeze military support. That would be devastating for the country, which has been at war for nearly 3 years after Russia's full-scale invasion on February 24, 2022. The idea also comes at a time when reliable and uninterrupted access to critical minerals is increasingly hard to come by globally. Ukraine's rare earth elements are largely untapped because of the war and because of state policies regulating the mineral industry. The country also lacks good information to guide the development of rare earth mining. Geological data is thin because mineral reserves are scattered across Ukraine, and existing studies are considered largely inadequate. The industry's true potential is clouded by insufficient research, according to businessmen and analysts. The country's reserves of titanium, a key component for the aerospace, medical and automotive industries, are believed to be among Europe's largest.
Ukraine has offered to strike a deal with U.S. President Donald Trump for continued American military support in exchange for developing its minerals industry, which could provide a valuable source of critical raw materials essential for many kinds of technology. Trump said he's interested in such a deal earlier this month. It was initially proposed by Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy as part of his plan to strengthen Ukraine's hand in any future negotiations with Russia. The bulk of Ukraine's critical raw materials, such as lithium, uranium, and titanium, are largely untapped because of the ongoing war, but also because of state policies regulating the industry here. Geological data in particular is quite thin. Trump in particular has expressed interest in rare earth elements, and the research into that here is also quite nascent. However, titanium is quite an established industry here, as you can see in the open pit mine behind me. Ukraine is believed to have one of the largest reserves of titanium in Europe. Now, Ukrainian businessmen are pretty keen to work with Americans in this sector. However, many of them express skepticism that American companies may not come here in the absence of security guarantees. This deal will likely be a subject of conversation in the coming weeks and months, and especially when Zelenskiy meets Trump.
Очень слабо начинали. Я своих души просто не вижу.